This is the Tissot T-Touch in stainless steel. And I've had this watch for just over a year, probably about just below 18 months. And in that time, I must have worn it in total probably less than 7 days. And that's not 7 days continuously. It's normally 1, 2 days, and then I've taken it off and not worn it again. I think the last time I wore it was this morning, and that was literally for 5 minutes, and then took it off again. And I'll go into the reasons why a little bit later. But since then, I don't think I've worn it for probably about 6, maybe 7 months. So let me give you some specifications on the watch first. Now, it is 42 millimeters from side to side, and it is 14.6 millimeters in thickness, which is a really thick watch. And annoyingly, it has 21 millimeter lugs, and it's made from 316L stainless steel. Now, this is the older version of the watch. The new ones are all either titanium, but you still can buy it in stainless steel, but I think the majority of them are now made in titanium. And it runs the ETA E48311 movement. And it's got a sapphire crystal. Now, it does say it has AR coating on there, anti-reflective coating. But I think that is only on the newer ones, because if you look, you can see my hand. Now, a watch with anti-reflective coating, you shouldn't be able to see the hand at all. So, I'm not sure if this one actually does have it. It has 3 buttons on the side. You've got the top one, which has a plus, and then a T, and then a minus. These control some of the functions, but not all the functions. Now, being a T-Touch, basically what you do is you use the screen to activate all the different functions on the watch. Now, at the moment, I've got it on power saving mode. So I usually just leave the watch in power saving mode because, like I said earlier, I don't wear it that often. So there's no point in having the watch continuously running if I'm not going to be wearing it. Which is a really good function. I do like that. A lot of multifunction watches don't have this, and I wish more of them would do. Now, if you press the middle button, you can see the watch comes alive. Now, the functions are all controlled by the gimmick crystal. Now, make no mistake, it is a gimmick. There's absolutely no benefit whatsoever to how the functions controlled by touching the crystal. In fact, it's more of a hindrance when the watch is wet. Just like most other things, like smartphones and stuff, the touchscreen will stop working. So you'd have to wipe it down. So in terms of it being a sports watch, which I don't really see it really being a sports watch, it is purely a gimmick. To control the gimmick, press the middle, and you can see the T has come up, and then simply just press on whichever function you want. So if you press the METO, which is meteorological display, so you've got the air pressure. Now you can see it's just to the left of 12 o'clock. Now, depending on the air pressure, if it's high or low, if you're going to have bad weather or good weather, it will go left or right. So if you have bad weather, it will change to the left, and if you're getting good weather, it will change to the right. And you've probably just seen it go back to the time zone. It does that throughout all the functions, so you can have the time zone and you can see your air pressure or whatever. But if you want to use it, the touchscreen again, you've got to press that. It goes back to the last function you used. And again, so if you want the altimeter, you press the altimeter and it'll go there. So 90 meters above sea level, and then the chrono, which is the chronograph. So that turns the chronograph on, but you've got to start and stop the chronograph with the button. So I don't see the point. Why? The gimmick, pure gimmick. So you start it with that, stop it with that, reset it. Now, if they wanted to make it more in tune with the functionality of it being a touch, you'd have some sort of way of turning it on and off through the screen. So, for example, you touch the middle, but if you touch the middle, it just goes back to the time. So when you do start the chronograph and then touch the middle, it'll go back to the time. So I don't see the point whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever. So you go back to the chrono's still running, and then stop, restart, and then the compass. Now the minute hand is always pointing to the north, and then the hour hand is always pointing to the south. And then underneath on the LED screen, you've got the direction. So 139 is your direction, and this is where you can use your bezel as well. So you can rotate the bezel left or right to whichever heading you want to set it to, and then you can head in that direction. So if you want to head west, north, so on, just use that. Now, to use the compass, it drains the battery a lot. So if anyone's got one of these, you don't use the compass a lot, and don't constantly use it, because it will drain the battery a lot. It won't last you a year. Again, press the T-Touch, and then you've got the alarm function. Now, the newer models, apparently, so you've got two alarms. So you've got alarm 1, alarm 2, so you can just see the little thing there. The newer models have a countdown timer. This one doesn't. Normally when you want the countdown timer, you press the chrono and then you press it again, and that should activate the countdown timer, but this one doesn't have it. Yeah. There's not much more I can say about that. I would prefer to have a watch with a countdown timer. This one doesn't have one. So, and then you press the thermometer, and that will give you your temperature. Now, I really don't see the point of having a thermometer on a watch that's going to be on your wrist. It says 26.3. There is no way that the temperature here is 26.3. This is whatever temperature the watch is on your wrist. So if you have it on your wrist, you can see it's gone up because I'm moving my hand closer to the back. So it's actually reading the temperature of my hand than it is actual air pressure, air temperature. Now, the only way to get an accurate reading is to take the watch off and leave it, and then it will get the air temperature. So what is the point of having a thermometer on your wrist if it's only going to read the temperature that's on your wrist? Completely pointless, completely useless. Not just the Tissot, there are other watches as well which have the thermometer on there, and I just think they're just silly. They're no use whatsoever. The Sun 2 also have that. The G-Shocks have that. Well, some of them do, and I just don't see the point of them. Now, on the back of the watch, you can see it's got these cutouts. Now, they're for the sensors for the air pressure, the temperature, etc. Now, I'm quite surprised with those cutouts. It's still 100 meters water resistant. You can see in the back of the watch says 10 bar water resistant, 100 meters, 350 feet. 330 feet, excuse me. Why they've got 10 bar, then they've put 100 meters, I don't understand that. 10 bar is 100 meters. People should know that. But they've decided to clutter up the back of the case and put it on there. And you've got sapphire crystal, stainless steel, Tissot 1853 and Tissot T-Touch 2. So this is a second generation T-Touch. And then you've got the serial number, and I think that'll be the watch reference number. And then it also says smartwatch. Now, I don't understand why they call this a smartwatch. I wouldn't call this a smartwatch. This is what I call a ABC watch, which is altimeter, barometer, and compass. But they've designated this as a smartwatch. I don't think it is, but that's Tissot for you. A smartwatch to me is more like either an Apple Watch or a Samsung S3 or a Huawei, which you can connect to your phone and you can get messages. That's a smartwatch. This is just a watch with a gimmick touch system on it. That's it. I don't really see much of a benefit. You can see the temperature again is going up. You see as I'm holding it, it's going up. You can see my point. Now, to look at the watch, it looks like a really strong, tough watch, but it isn't. I had this on a desk when I was at a meeting once. I took it off and I knocked it and it fell off the desk and onto the floor. The desk was, what, maybe 3 feet off the floor? And when it hit the floor, it wasn't a solid wooden floor or a concrete floor. It was just like an office. You know, they have that kind of cheapish carpet, which is not that soft. But it hit the floor and everything just stopped. The whole watch just completely stopped working. None of the functions, everything just blank. And luckily, because it was a brand new watch, it was still under warranty, so I sent it back in to the Tissot dealer, and they fixed it. I don't know what the problem was. I did actually ask them. I said, well, what was the issue? And they said, well, we don't know. Whether or not they didn't tell them or they didn't want to tell me what the issue was, I don't know. But if a watch falls 3 feet, and especially a quartz watch, and it stops working, you know, that's a bit of an issue. Now, I do know the first generation of these watches did have a lot of problems with the actual touch glass. They constantly used to malfunction. I don't know, because, as I said, I've worn it probably less than 7 days or just over 7 days in total in the time I've had it. Now, the reason I don't wear it so much is because I find it incredibly uncomfortable. Now, it comes on this rubber strap. You can actually have it on a stainless steel strap or a titanium strap, but this strap is very uncomfortable. It is soft, but it's got this ridging on there, and that just sort of, it digs in to my my wrist, and I found it really uncomfortable to wear for a whole day. Like this morning, I put it on. 5 minutes later, I thought, you know what? Because I was going to the gym, so I thought, well, I'll wear it while I'm at the gym, and it just felt so uncomfortable. I took it off after about 5 minutes. I went back to my normal watch. So, yeah, I find it really uncomfortable. The buckle on here, it is a solid stainless steel buckle, but the top part of it, this is really cheap. I don't understand why they've done that. They've done a nice job on the buckle here, but they've cheapened out on the clasp here. That just, you'd sort of find this on much cheaper clasps like you find on a Seiko or something. So I don't understand why they did that. Now, this watch retails for, I think, £565, and I personally think that's an expensive watch for what it is, for what this watch is. I think it's very expensive. For a fraction of that price, well, kind of a fraction, you could have this instead. This is a Sun 2 Vector All Black, and it does basically almost everything this one does, apart from the touch screen. And it's £160. I found it for £160, but you can find them cheaper. They normally average around about £140, £150. But I think it's a far superior watch than this one. They're almost the same size, but this is a lot clearer to look at. You can read the dial quite easy. This one, you can read it quite clearly. There's not really an issue. The lume on this is not bad. It glows quite brightly. And the LED screen actually lights up. And you can change the time of how long you want it to stay on and off. I think it's between 3 seconds and 10 seconds. I think mine has been set at the 10-second one. Since I got it back, I haven't really adjusted anything. So if you wanted to adjust the time, so you press the middle button again, so you get the T, and then you press the center. That gives you through all the other functions. So that's the time. So it's now 11:55. Then you've got the seconds. Now there's no second hand on the actual dial. And then press it again, and that's your GMT or your second time zone. So you can see that it says T2, and then this is your options. So once you're here, then you press the middle one again, and then you can change from 24 hours to 12 hours. And oh, sorry. So this is what I don't like about it. You do always forget. You got to press the middle one for the options. So there we go. Go back to options and then press that again, and then you got to press that again. So that turns the bleep on and off. If you want to, you can hear it when I press it. It has a little bleep, and then this is to turn it into power saving mode. So you go to sleep and you can hear it bleeping, and then that's it. It's now on power saving mode. The hour hands will go to the 12 o'clock position, and the minute hand, and it will just stay there until the watch is ready to start again. Now, if you press the other functions, see, nothing will work. It only works when you press the middle button. And there we go. I don't think it's a very tough watch. It doesn't give, after it fell off the desk, it doesn't give me the confidence to take it to something where I would use it and it might get knocked or some sort of damage to it. And you can see the condition of the watch. It is literally brand new. The only scratches are on the actual bracelet, but because it's such a big area, it gets scratches really easy. Would I recommend this watch? No. I think it's overpriced for what it is. There are many other options out there for ABC watches. You've got the G-Shocks as well. There's a whole host of G-Shocks which are much, much better. This has got a Swiss movement. It's Swiss made from a Swiss company. Is that why it's more expensive? Probably. It's not value for money at all. So I wouldn't recommend anyone buy it. Now, I know all the trolls will be itching away to say, well, if it's such a bad watch, why did I buy it? Well, I didn't buy it. This watch was gifted to me. A friend of mine gave it to me as a gift because I helped him out with some business he was doing, and I wouldn't charge him for my help. So he bought me this watch as a thank you, which I'm very grateful for, and you know, it's great that he gave me this watch. And that's one of the reasons why I still have it. If I'd bought this watch, I would have sold it because I'm not wearing it. But because it's been a gift, I can't give a gift away. Even though I don't wear it that often, it's a gift. So you don't give away gifts. But after this review, now it will go straight back in its box and probably not see the light of day for months, maybe even years. So that's my quick review of the Tissot T-Touch. Don't buy one. Thanks for watching.